I started my Android journey with Android 2.2 Froyo with the Galaxy Y. And ever since then, I have stuck with Android. Why? It's because Android gave me something that iOS could never give me ever. And that is a sense of right to ownership. The device that you purchase with your hard-earned money from the vendor, you have full access to it. You have the right to use it the way you want it to. You can install whatever you wish, you can modify the system and just tweak it to your preferences and needs. This is something that iOS still doesn't allow you. And that's the reason I stuck with Android. Back in the day, I had a Galaxy Tab 2 and I also had access to an iPad 2. And no matter how much smoother the iPad 2 felt, more powerful, more polished, more optimized, and I was never attracted to it. I never liked it past the first couple of hours that I used it. Because no matter how polished the experience was, the iPad never felt like my own device. Okay, it always felt like it was a device from Apple that I had rented and I had to use the device the way Apple wants me to. But with my Galaxy Tab 2, I was free to unlock its bootloader, to install whatever custom ROMs I wanted, to modify the system performance like, CPU, underclocking, overclocking, undervolting, okay? Just install whatever applications I want from any sources without any issues, okay? Emulators, different niche applications. I had a lot of access, and that freedom of use, that sense of user, control that I had over my Galaxy Tab 2, that's what, made me prefer Android and stick with it. It always felt like I had a PC in my hand. I had full control over it. Okay, you have the right to modify the system, to install whatever you want, to unlock the bootloader, to customize it and use it the way you want it to. It's like having control over your device, the device that you paid money for, your hard-earned money for. And that's a sense that iOS never gave me. But over the last decade or so, this user freedom, this level of user control of your device, of your Android device, has slowly been eroding with every passing update from Google. Let's take an example. Bootloader unlocking. Bootloader unlocking used to be such a trivial thing with Android back in the day. You could easily unlock the bootloader of your device. You can flash custom ROMs, custom kernels, custom recoveries, and just to use your phone the way you want. Fast forward to 2025. There are a lot of OEMs that straight away don't even allow you to unlock the bootloader of your phone. And in my honest opinion, if you use an Android device and the OEM of your device doesn't allow you to unlock the bootloader, it basically means you do not own your device. You are at that point at the mercy of your OEM to support the device, to send out updates. Let's say your OEM has pushed out an update and changed certain things which you don't like, or maybe you are not happy with the performance of your device, or you're just not happy with some bugs which your OEM updates have introduced. You are at the mercy of your OEM. You cannot do anything about it. You are at the mercy of your OEM to fix that or just stick with it, okay? Like for example, iQOO phones, right? I have talked about iQOO phones in length on my channel. Those phones are marketed for performance. But in my experience, iQOO phones don't perform the way you want in every game. It only performs in certain games. In other games, it just straight away ignores. It doesn't perform like it should. Okay, it basically artificially caps its performance from games which are not whitelisted. Okay, so this behavior, I don't like it. But what can I do? I can't change it because the phone doesn't allow bootloader unlocking. I can't root it. I can't change its behavior. You're just basically stuck with it. Like same for updates. There was a new phone, the Oppo K13 Turbo Pro, something like that, which has a powerful Snapdragon 8S Gen 4, and it only comes with 2 years of Android OS updates and I think like 3 years of security patches, which is very poor for such a powerful phone. I mean, I'm sure even after losing support, it'll last for many years, but you're just missing out on new updates, new features from Android, and that is very painful because that is a powerful phone. If you have bootloader unlocking, you will have custom ROM support. You will be able to use the device for many years. So if you don't have bootloader unlocking on your Android phone, you basically don't own that device, simple as that. And I know a lot of people will come and say, hey, who unlocks their bootloader, who uses custom ROMs in 2025? Our phones already have all the features, there's already long-term support. Guys, you don't understand. This is not about being able to install a custom ROM. It's about user control and having the right of ownership of your device. Like I said, if you don't like something that your phone's OEM has done, if your phone's OEM has crippled the performance, let's say crippled the battery life, or has done something which you don't like, you have no control but be at the mercy of your OEM to fix it or not fix it or stick with that. Okay, that's what I'm saying. It's not about being able to install a custom ROM. It's about having user control, and you can only have that if you are allowed to unlock the bootloader and install custom ROMs and flash whatever you wish. That's how you maintain control over your device and ownership of your device. But let's say you are able to unlock the bootloader of your phone. There are still brands which allow bootloader unlocking. For example, OnePlus, Nothing, Xiaomi in India and globally, they still allow bootloader unlocking. Let's say you unlock the bootloader of your device. Now here comes Google with their SafetyNet / Play Integrity API, which will immediately flag your device as insecure. Crazy. Just because you want more control of your device is marked as insecure. And what happens then? All those banking apps, certain games, streaming applications stop working on your phone because they detect your phone as insecure. They detect the bootloader unlock status, they detect the you have root access, and they just stop working. And then to bypass that, you have to root your device, you have to hide the root status, you have to spoof the bootloader unlocking status, and doing all kinds of jumping through bunch of hoops. You are somehow able to make those applications work on your device again. So just because you wanted more control over your device, over your privacy, it can be any reason. You can unlock your bootloader for any reason. You may want to use custom ROMs which are focused for privacy. You don't want to share your data with Google. It can be any reason. But just because you do that, your device is marked as insecure. Your phone becomes less practical because bunch of apps just stop working. So Google is standing here and saying you that, hey, go ahead, unlock your bootloader, but I will make sure to make your life hell after you do that. So all these shenanigans that Google introduces every year, taking away user control, taking away user freedom, is in the name of security. The classic security. We want to make your device more secure, so we will only allow you to do what we want you to do. This is no longer your device, this is Google's device. Your Android device is not yours because you have to follow what Google says, what Google's Play Services framework decides and allows you to do. All in the name of security, Google is taking away more user freedom. And the latest bombshell that Google just dropped is regarding sideloading, the very thing that separates Android from iOS. Starting 2026, if a developer wants to share their app outside the Play Store and want users to be able to use that, they will be forced to hand over their full identity to Google. Real name, phone number, address, probably even government ID to get themselves verified. Otherwise, if that app belongs to an unverified developer, then you cannot install on your phone. But wait a second, if an app is being distributed outside the boundaries of Google Play Store, why does Google need to interfere and why does the developer need to get verified with Google? I mean, why should Google's rules even apply? Why does someone creating an app and hosting it on GitHub or on their own website or on F-Droid have to abide by Google's rules? I don't understand this. This is Google poisoning the very spirit of AOSP. I mean, Android is supposed to be open. That's the whole reason it exists as an open source project. But Google basically uses their Play Services framework to enforce restrictions far outside the realms of the Play Store at the moment. If you are running an Android phone with Google Apps, which basically is every phone, then you are locked into their rules whether you like it or not. And let's be honest here, once again, this is not about security. I mean, the project, this particular news that has come up, this development, it says clearly that it is not going to look into the contents of the application. So this is clearly not about security. It is about surveillance. Google wants to know what projects are being developed by which developer. They want their personal information, okay, so that Google is able to know which projects don't abide by Google's rules or which projects hurt Google's bottom line, so that they're later able to sabotage them. I mean, come on, I don't want to put any tinfoil conspiracy hat, but this is what it is. This is all about surveillance. Google wants to know what projects are being developed by what developer. I mean, do you think the developers of different kinds of ad blockers, YouTube or emulators, let's say some people who are developing emulators for Nintendo Switch or Windows emulation, or the hundreds of folks that come out every day where other developers come in and fork the original code and make improvements to it, do they all want to provide their personal information to Google? I mean, look at Nintendo. They come out after emulators every day. They close on emulators, they attack emulator developers, okay? Ad blocker developers, they are just constantly in fight with Google. Their projects get taken down every now and then. So do you think they really want to share their personal information with Google? Because if Google knows who are behind these projects which Google doesn't like, they can sabotage them, they can threaten them with legal notices and whatnot. And the hypocrisy is mind-blowing. Google wants you to believe that if you're downloading applications from outside the Play Store, you're sideloading applications, then that is insecure, it's going to be harmful, you're going to be attacked with malware and whatnot. And yet there have been plenty of cases where there has been shady applications on the Play Store itself with millions of downloads. I think yesterday itself I saw one application on the Reddit with like 19 million downloads that was just banned. So there are shady applications in the Play Store itself. And then you have got your Google Web Store, the extension web store, where there are plenty of shady extensions. So if Google can't even keep their own backyard clean, how are they going to make anything outside the Play Store more secure? Because once again, this is not about security. This is about surveillance. This is about control. This is about knowing who can potentially do harm to Google so that Google can sabotage them later. It is about preventing users from going outside the Play Store. It's about forcing users to stay within the Play Store. Is about Google generating more revenue from the Play Store and nothing else. I mean, come on, let's compare this situation with PCs. Let's say you have a Windows PC or you bought a Windows laptop, and the next day Microsoft comes out and tells you cannot unlock the bootloader, you cannot install Linux, you cannot install OpenBSD, you cannot install anything else, you have to use only Windows, you can only install applications from the Windows Store, and if you want to install any applications from outside the Windows stores, you need to have verified developers sharing applications. You cannot download anything else, you cannot install anything else. How would you react then? Just imagine the kind of uproar this would create if this was done to the PC community. If this was done in the PC community, there would be outrage. People would call it monopolistic, anti-competitive and authoritarian. Yet on Android, Google is pushing that exact model slowly and people are quiet about it. Here's an analogy. Smoking kills, right? Smoking causes cancer. We know that. Although sideloading on your Android device will not harm you if you know where you're sideloading it from, if you know that the source is good. But anyways, take this example, right? Smoking kills. Smoking causes cancer. We all know that. But does the government ban cigarettes? Does the government ban cigarettes? No. Why? Because the government makes a ton of money from cigarette sales. Instead of straight away banning the cigarette, they put a label on the cigarette saying that smoking kills, smoking causes cancer, tobacco products causes cancer. Okay, Google can do the same thing on Android. If Google is so worried about user security, then just educate the user. Just educate the user instead of taking away user freedom. Keep sideloading disabled by default, not a problem. Whenever someone wants to sideload an application, put a full screen warning, make the whole screen red, put a warning that this may be insecure, this may cause issues. If you install this and you're on your own, put them. Person who is sideloading, there's already a very small minority people who are actually sideloading. Like 99% of people, they don't go to websites and download applications from there, they download APK files from there. Okay, most like 99% of people stick to the Play Store, but the 1% people who does that, put a warning for them, put a whole full screen flash, in red color saying this is dangerous, this may be malware, put that. Then let the user decide if they want to do it or not. If they do it, then it's on them. Instead, Google is taking away user control entirely. This is unbelievable. This is baffling to me. I'm telling you, it is never about security. All the anti-consumer practices that these multiple, billion-dollar corporations apply, it's always on the name of security. But it is never that. It is all about more and more control. It's about having more control on the device that you own. It's well known, guys, these days, you will own nothing and be happy, because most people don't care about these things. And big YouTubers, they will never talk about these things, and they will not even care to educate the users what they are losing out on. And like I said at the beginning of the video, when I had a Galaxy Y Android 2.2, it actually felt like having a PC in your hand. You have full control over it. All that was needed was more and more powerful hardware. And in 2025, we have smartphones with processors like Snapdragon 8 Elite and the upcoming 8 Elite Gen 2, which are like super powerful, like crazy performance-oriented processors. Like these processors have performance comparable to gaming laptops from 5 years ago, like GTX 1050 Ti level of performance from these, small smartphone chips drawing like 6-7 watts of power. So the performance is there, but this locked, walled garden-like approach to software will always prevent your phone from behaving like a PC, because you will never have full control over it. And that is incredibly sad and frustrating for me. Like, what's the point of all this power if you're always locked to the Google's walled garden? If you're not allowed to use the phone like you wanted to, then what's the point of all this performance? With this direction that Android is taking, Android is becoming more and more like iOS, and that's the ultimate tragedy. Because the one platform that was supposed to represent freedom and user choice is slowly killing the very features that made it different. So yeah guys, that's what I want to talk about in this video. It's an incredibly sad state of affairs at the moment. I mean, people just don't care about these things because big YouTubers don't care to educate the people. They are losing the right to ownership slowly and slowly with every passing year. And there will be a day, like we've been saying, there will be a day when you'll own nothing, but you'll still be happy about it. And these multi-billion-dollar companies will have full control over the products that you purchase with your hard-earned money. Alright guys, yeah, that's it for this video. Yeah, pretty disappointing. Do let me know what you think about this current situation. Alright, with that said, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.